Hey guys, wow. I've been kind of collecting my thoughts on the passing of Jason David Frank. We all know him as the Green Ranger, White Ranger, Red Zero, Red Turbo, and Black Dino Ranger, and Lord Draken. And he died at the age of 49 years old, and it's just unbelievable how this has gone down. And I'm absolutely shocked, and I'm absolutely just flabbergasted on how this, you know, how how so sudden this was. Because a lot of the time you see him on social media and doing that, and then and just doing this thing, and like either he talks about something he did on Power Rangers, or he's training, or he's like try to be thoughtful, or he talk about Legend of the White Dragon, and other stuff that he does on this, you know, and it really got me in a bind, and I've tried to do my best to collect the thoughts, and and totally he for me, like many others, was a big inspiration for them in their personal lives. Like for me specifically, uh, he was a big inspiration for me to get into martial arts. He was part of that. He was part of that journey. Like when I first started throwing those kicks in the backyard at the 14 years old, and it's like and and then changing it up, and then I was excited to see him. He was in MMA, and not a huge MMA fan. It's like see him do stuff like that, and then him coming back to Pirates of the 20th anniversary, and then him doing My Morphin Life with Bat in the Sun, and him just like being like a hard-working dude and just being beloved by a lot of the community, that the people around us. I've been seeing more and more how much more of an impact he had on a lot of people other than myself. And then just like I get to know a lot of cool people because I get I get to know a lot of cool people because like my little Power Rangers and my little Super Sentai and Tokusatsu as a whole. And then it's like Power Rangers is definitely part of that, and it's just crazy to see that JDF is gone, and that makes two of the original cast that are gone now. I did get the opportunity to meet Jason and Frank at a comic book store because he's doing his Power Ranger Protection Program, where he goes like to the small comic book stores, and he does the signings for it like that, and he was promoting Legend of the White Dragon, and he could do it for charity, and I got his autograph. I got him as Black Dino Ranger, and I got a picture with him. It's a neat story. A little lighthearted, so I'm gonna treat myself and go to the comic store and give me a few couple comics but earlier that day I seen somebody tag me on Facebook talking about the JDF was gonna be there. So when I did go to the comic book store and get the comics, and I was talking about him with the clerk, and he was telling me that he is he's gonna be coming. It's like they don't know they're gonna be coming because his people haven't contacted us yet. And so I was like, oh, I was a bit nervous about that, him not being able to show up. So I was like, ooh, I hope I get to meet him. I hope I get to meet him. And sure enough, uh, sure enough, about uh, I get back home, and then they posted again. They said that yes, that JDF will be at the comic book store. So I was like, yes. According to the guy that worked there, he said about 15 minutes after I left the comic book store, JDF people, his assistants and stuff like that, they hit them up and said he is going to 100% be there. And so when they had posted it, I was elated. And when I actually went there that day, and I was so excited because I had nothing else to do that week, and I was like, yes. I was ready to get on down there, and it was just, and it was so cool. Is I think that this is the vibe that meeting him at a convention was like, because I never got to meet him at a convention. This was the only time I ever got the opportunity to meet him in person. And I ran a lot of the other Ranger actors at conventions too, and I enjoyed meeting them too. And then like for JDF, and it's like and all the Rangers are special, man. And then but then they get to meet JDF and see a person that I look up to, and you know, somebody who was a big inspiration for me with the martial arts, and you know, just you know, like Power Rangers as a whole is a positive influence in my life to stay out of trouble and help people whenever I can, however I can, you know, and that sense of confidence that you can gain from being around the right people, you know, and that is definitely what Power Rangers has taught me when I was little, and then growing up, getting into martial arts and to never give up, regardless of what it is. And I absolutely love watching him do the Green Ranger kata, because like it's just like at that time it was like it's something that helped me out when I was training, and then it made me help me get into like you know, like I said, like his time in MMA got me wanting to compete too, and like get out there and like be and do combat sports too. Because even though it was a short lived, I still liked it because it was just like person I watched growing up. He really showing that he can do it, and it's like there's that was like the catalyst for me wanting to get into like combat sport too, and so that definitely was a piece of it. But one other thing is that like one of my favorite episodes definitely, and I talked about this in a video, is Missing Green, and it's not necessarily a Tommy episode, but it has to do with him because Jason, he feels guilt about not getting the green candle when they had the chance on the first season, and that's been eating away at him. And so, like, the other Rangers go to try to find Tommy out in his uncle's lake house, and they're all captured by Goldar, and almost given the same fate as Tommy did, and that makes Jason not a happy camper. And Jason, he fights the pipe brain monster, takes on the swarm of putties, then goes to the dark dimension to fight Goldar, and then redoes the candles and helps him out. And as much as I love that episode because it's the theme of survivor's guilt and stuff like that, but it's like what really hits for me, and it's gonna change now, is the scene where they see Tommy on the viewing globe, and it's like he's on the lake writing a letter to Jason that says like it's not your fault. It's like it's not your fault you didn't get the green candle. It's not your fault, and I don't blame you for what happened. And it's like he's being very reassuring to Jason and stuff like that. And it just, and I watched it earlier, and I watched the clip of it earlier, and it just hit for me differently now that knowing that, yeah, we'll see each other again soon. And it's really just like, it gets to me, man. And it's whew. So, I mean, there's just so much to say about a guy like JDF who is beloved in the convention scene, and you know, all that good stuff, and just a guy who really loved his job, and just like, you know, person who, and I absolutely love his definition of success. And he say I remember he said, nah, and it struck a chord with me, and he said success is not how much money you got in your bank account. It's not about how much you got, how much money you're stacking, how many, what kind of stuff you got. It's like, do you like what you do? Do you like, yeah. And that always strikes a chord with me, and it's just like, you know, and I absolutely love that. And so, like, it's crazy to see somebody like this gone, and I sound like a broken record, dude, because I feel that. It's just like, man, it's like the mental health, and definitely, and I'm sure y'all heard this, like, about it, but you before, but if you do have a friend You check on your friends, and check on your loved ones and stuff like that. Tell them you love them. Check them and see if they're all right. You know, have you know definitely do the best that you can to reach out and just be a friend to someone. And whatever it may be. I know I'm not the best person to be talking about this because like I'm just a silly YouTube channel that talks about Power Rangers and like lighthearted way and I try to have a sense of humor when I do these videos and it's just hits hard, man. But yes, very much rest in peace, Jason David Frank. Uh, you were most like Jason's gone, but Tommy will live forever because Power Rangers is indeed a multi-generational show, and like he always say, like it's people who watched Power Rangers back then, they got their kids now, and they're just them the Power Rangers, and for as long as the franchise remains, it will like the legend of all of the Rangers, it will the legend of Tommy and all the Rangers will continue, and it's a beautiful thing. That's the beauty of it is that he will live on forever. Rest in peace, Jason. And may the power protect you always.
It's morphin' time! Dragon Sword!